comic to comparison, I had like 15 different points to go down through. But this week it was just three points, and it was just really that they had the same gist of being an introduction to King Ezekiel.
Okay.
So, sorry if that let you down, but it was a slow, it was a slow episode, but the comic did have a lot more action towards it. But when you compare from the two, you know what I mean, it was all just really an introduction to the King and the Tiger. And that's
it? There's nothing else you can add to it?
I'm sorry to say, I went back and read the comic right before the show again, like I always do.
Yeah.
And it really, honestly, was a slow issue, and everything that was basically in the show, none of the stuff with the pigs happened. They weren't he wasn't even giving Negan stuff right then. They didn't even bring that up. He wasn't poisoning them with the pigs or none of that stuff. Everything was made for TV for this one.
Okay.
And I was really disappointed.
Poisoning with the pigs, because that was pretty gruesome right there.
Yeah, with the pigs, they had absolutely none of that in the comic book.
Really, that's pretty strange, because that was a lot for me to deal with, to be honest with you.
Because it seemed like in the comic they were just doing how they had the big garden in the kingdom and stuff. They were basically just giving produce and stuff like that to them. And, it wasn't a real big deal, except for, obviously King Ezekiel doesn't want to give up half his stuff. And, he's supposed to be the king, and that makes it seem like he's bowing to someone else.
Yeah.
So, I actually preferred that show in that aspect, because it actually shows that they're showing some sort of defiance against him, and they're actually hatching a plan to, try to poison him or at least take down his men a little bit, because they know their numbers ain't quite what the Saviors have. So, if you poison them through their food supply or get them paranoid to even eat, then they might even start turning on each other as food starts getting shorter. And, the TV stuff was actually better on that aspect. And I don't know, the Knights are pretty decent, and they haven't, I forget what his name is, but they don't even have the best Knight. I don't ever like to use race, but they have this one Asian guard there, and he is totally hardcore, and I hope they introduce him into the show.
That's pretty deep, because, like I said, if you look at the picture, guys, if I can't get the picture changed, the picture has King Zeke's army, and it's only about 10 of them that are actually fighters.
In the comic book, they actually have a little bit more than that. And I like how he actually trains all his people to ride the horses, and they wear the armor. And, they don't sit there and always rely on guns. They always get the spears from, the hilltop. Because the kingdom and hilltop are actually already switching goods back and forth.
Yes.
And that's how they're getting all the spears. And when Rick and Morgan were actually looking for Carol, an episode or two ago, they said, they found the spear, and they're like, yeah, this is one from the hilltop. And they knew that right away. And, that's where... I guess the kingdom is trading produce for weapons, and they have a friendly relationship, which I think that's going to go into the show. They already know about the hilltop, and then once they find out about Rick's group, then they're going to really realize they might actually have some numbers to where they can actually go against Negan.
Yeah, I think that, because if you look at the guys when they were traveling around, that was more than 50 guys going around the little mountain area, and it wasn't all the same guys. It was different people. So that's why I say they have to be in the couple hundreds, not 50 people. So yeah, I think that eventually they'll take them on, but I still don't see them. I still see Negan's group being bigger, at least 3 times bigger, is what's being advertised.
I think that when he said that, he might not have actually been talking about the whole group. I think he was talking about he had 50 men there when they had everyone lined up. I think he just brought 50 men along with him.
I see.
But because obviously they have outposts all over the place. They're like, if it goes anything like the comic, they have like, I think it's like between 5 and 12 outposts, and of course they're never going to leave their home base undefended there also. But if it's like the comics, the home base is actually, they have a kill zone to where they have walkers and stuff chained outside, so people can't even get to their base.
Yeah.
They actually use the walkers, kind of like in Fear of the Walking Dead, how that one group, Oceana or whatever it's called, had the group of walkers they called the Wall. They kind of have something similar like that, but they're chained out there so they can't just wander off or anything like that. The Negan's actually smart enough to use the zombies to his advantage.
Okay.
And you ever notice Negan always wears all leather? And he's smart enough to realize that the zombie's teeth can't penetrate through the leather, so that's kind of why he always wears the leather. So Negan, he's not just brutal, he's really, really smart.
He got to be stinking and all that leather down in the South there.
And just think, he's got to really be bad and really charismatic. That like he has the meanest and baddest of the bad of survivors left. And at any time, one of them could just easily take him out. You know what I mean? Shoot him in the back when he's not looking at anything. But they all still bow to him. So he's got to be really smart, really charismatic, and, you know what I mean? There's got to be something about him that, like, makes all these people just fall in line to him. They actually literally bow to him.
Yeah.
Like in the preview, they show that, like, they show Dwight and them all standing there, and as Negan comes through, they all sit there and get down on one knee as he walks past.
Yeah, I was seeing that. It was pretty crazy.
He's got to be something to where he's controlling all these people like that.
Yeah, it's there's a mental way and there's a Jim Jones way.
Considering he was just a school teacher and a ping pong coach. You know, there's something I don't understand how he gained such power so quick, but maybe in the show they'll elaborate more.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it for tonight. We're giving away too much. We're giving away too much here. Patrick,
a lot of it could be speculation, and we know the show doesn't always follow the comic. They've proved that so many times through the series. So all mine are just kind of theories for the show.
Yeah. Because
you never know what they're actually going to follow.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you guys a real quick update. Our schedule is kind of off this week, so I'm kind of still trying to catch up to the schedule, but next week we will be on a regular schedule. But starting tomorrow, Lisa Trujillo has her new oldies show. It's called Rolling with the Oldies. It starts tomorrow at 7 a.m. So that's 7 a.m. She's Mountain Time. 7 a.m. Mountain Time. Make sure you check it out. Rolling with the Oldies, starting out your hump day, your Wednesday. And then later on in the night, you have Cousin Dave with Jazz. What's his jazz show called? Do you know? Jazz?
I'm not sure.
You know, oh yeah, it's okay. So Cousin Dave has his jazz show on tomorrow night. So make sure you check out Cousin Dave with his jazz show podcast. Sorry about that. And then Thursday you have Lisa's 80s show, and that's the it's called Hair. Say what is Hair Mania? I should know this already. Hair Mania. Dave's Cousin Dave's show is called Jazz. It's called Jazz. So make sure you check that out tomorrow. And then Lisa's show is David Lee Clements, but he likes to be called Cousin Dave. David Lee Clements, Cousin Dave Wednesday. Lisa's show is Hair Mania on Thursday. Make sure you check that out. Chris Stevens is going to be here Friday morning at 8:30 Eastern Time with Freaks in the Basement. I hope I said it right. Awesome podcast. You have to check it out. He's the art of storytelling. He has it all. If you like the world of storytelling, make sure you check it out. It's so cool. Hair Mania. No, but Thursday, Lisa Trujillo with Hair Mania. Make sure you check it out. It's gonna be awesome. But make sure to check out Chris Friday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be an awesome podcast. And then Saturday, you have the jam, the awesome jam with IKE DIAZ and Lisa Trujillo. I skipped Friday because I have Patrick on the line, and I want Patrick to break this down for us. We're finally going to get his podcast on the air starting Friday.
I'm still trying to think of a name of it. So if anyone has a good name of it,
I just keep calling it the Comic Book Show. We're getting the Comic Book Show on the air.
Yeah, the only thing I ever came up with Comics with Patrick, but you know what I mean? If anyone can think of a creative name, I would love to do that. And you know what I mean? I'll be reviewing, each week. Maybe I'm not sure if it's going to be 1 or 2 comics. And we also talked about possibly doing a little segment towards the end of it with retro games.
Yeah,
that you were talking about.
Yeah, I'd like to come on as a guest because I'm into the retro games. The old school Super Mario, Galaga, Pac-Man, Defender, you name it, anything old school. I'm all about it. Super Mario Go-Kart, Sonic, Street Fighter.
That's what I'm into too.
So I want to come on and do a segment on his show, just like some retro video games, whenever he wants me on, So or
it won't be no Pokemon Go or nothing like that.
I don't even know a Pokemon. No, my son grew up on Pokemon, and I used to call it Pokemon. Oh,
you're doing yourself a favor by not knowing it.
No, I used to play it when he was a kid. We used to play it when he was a kid, so I got real good at it when he was a kid, though. You know what I'm saying? He was just a little baby, but it was fun when he was growing up. It was the little things we did when he was growing up. Like all my kids, everything was fun. So, and then Sunday, you're taking over as the new metal guy. Tell us about that.
Oh yeah, I'm going to be taking over in place of Rocking in the Night. I love rock music and everything like that, but I tend to be more of a metal guy, so it might be a little bit getting on the harder side. But I know we have a lot of people in comments that last time in the rocking show, they're like, hey, where's the heavy stuff? Well, I'm going to bring you the heavy stuff, so I really hope people tune in for that.
And then as of next week, we'll be back with sports, but we're the IKE DIAZ Sports Show. But I do want to let everybody know we are coming up on Thanksgiving, so we're going to have holiday stuff going on again. So some of the podcasts that you're normally listening to may not be available. They're also coming up on Christmas and New Year's. So some of the podcasts may be off for that weekend. But we'll still have a music podcast, so if you feel like tuning into us, we will have a music show, regardless of what day it is. So make sure you tune in anyway. But if it's one of the talk shows during that holiday, or one of the other podcasters for the holiday, so the schedule will be kind of rearranged a little bit again. So for the next couple months, we're going to kind of go through schedule changes. So we apologize for that, I apologize for that. But it's kind of the way podcasting and the R word goes when you're in this business, because people need their holidays so they can be with their families and they can have fun and they can enjoy. But you're live on TWD with IKE DIAZ and my co-host Patrick. It's been an awesome podcast. Do you have anything else you'd like to add real quick, Patrick, before we get to going here?